exotic places, but hate the dangers lurking in their own backyard.
This is the devil cactus. Oh, don't let her get by the thorns.
See who can turn a thorn-infested landscape into a child-proof paradise. Next on Landscaper's Challenge. Ted and Tammy Reese share a home and a toddler in Los Angeles. While they love the city, they'd like to turn their backyard into an instant getaway from life in the fast lane. With great shopping, gorgeous scenery, and nearly 300 days of sunshine each year, the city of Los Angeles has a lot to offer visitors.
Oh, be careful. Look at that.
It's also a great place for people like Ted and Tammy to call home. The couple and their 13-month-old daughter, Zoe, live in this 1920s Spanish-style bungalow near Hollywood.
We like the fact that it's an older house. It's got a little more character.
The reason that we bought this house was because it wasn't a fixer-upper. Our previous home had been a major fixer-upper. We did a lot of work. We learned all kinds of great skills that we don't want to use anymore.
That's not the only hobby the Reeses have given up.
Prior to having a baby, we really like to travel and camp and do a lot of outdoor things.
We went to India for 4 months, and that was fantastic. But for now, we feel like our adventures out in the world have been supplanted a little bit by our adventures here in the house.
So the only thing that we really need to fix in this house right now is the yard.
Ted and Tammy's backyard is anything but natural. It's a worn-out rectangle with a jumble of useless materials and a perimeter that's open and exposed to the urban surroundings.
No matter what we do, we just can't get the city out of our backyard. We come out and there's this boardwalk right here that's so narrow we could just fall right off the deck. We really need a patio with maybe a pergola for some shade. That would be really nice to be able to hang out here.
Yeah, we'd also love to do something to soften the transition between the driveway area and the backyard, other than the gigantic spiky bush that's here now. And it actually gets worse. Well, this is the giant concrete slab, which would be really handy if we ever wanted to land a helicopter in the backyard.
We'd really like to soften up the yard, make it a little bit more natural, maybe have some winding paths with some color and fragrant plants to just soften it up. So this is the devil cactus. On Halloween, some kids were playing tag here, and one of them ran right into it with his hand. It was filled with thorns. It was horrible. We felt so guilty.
Yeah, we're still feeling guilty, actually.
So it's gotta go.
Gotta go. Continuing with the parade of thorns, we have the bougainvillea bushes right next to Zoe's playpen.
More thorns here. We have these fabulous blackberry vines, which make delicious cobbler, but they need to be moved.
And I don't know how old this cactus is, but it was probably here when they first built the house.
The Reeses are open to preserving the cactus somehow, along with the rose bushes that pose yet another toddler hazard.
Our biggest plea to the designers would be take away all these hard edges, soften it up, and make this a place that we feel comfortable spending time.
And no more thorns, please.
Ted and Tammy have a $35,000 budget. They hope one of our designers can create a sanctuary that reminds them of their adventures before baby. Donna Stia is a former Hollywood set designer. She specializes in modern gardens that flow naturally from the home's interior design to the yard.
It should really be an extension of the house that they live in. It should be outdoor rooms that provide use and peace. So the first thing I saw when I walked into this garden was this amazing cactus. I love the idea that little baby Zoe will grow up with grandfather cactus looking over her. What I'd really like to surprise this client with is a beautiful adult place for them to bring their friends and entertain, a place where families can come and just bond with each other.
Next up is Nick Tan. Committed to ecologically responsible landscaping, Nick thinks of gardens as living sculptures that should evolve naturally.
I try not to force things usually on a site. I'm trying to enhance and bring out what it's already speaking to me with. One of the major challenges in this yard is kind of trying to create a space that's going to be a little more welcoming. You've got a lot of thorns, so this will probably have to go. But then you've got this guy, which is also really thorny, this blackberry. It's got beautiful flowers, and I'd love to try to save this if possible. I'd like to give Ted and Tammy an area back here, an oasis, something that's going to really just calm them down and make them feel serene.
Finally, the design team of Jill Jones and Stephanie Bartron. Each left a corporate job behind for a new career in landscaping.
I think one of the fun things about working together is that Jill and I are both attracted to different architectural styles, and we have slightly different tastes.
The best part about this job is that your own style evolves. It's always fresh and exciting that way. My first impression of this yard was that somebody at some point wanted to park an RV back here because there was so much cement.
Overall, we want to create a peaceful place for them to really live in outside.
Each designer is conjuring up a unique vision for Tammy and Ted's backyard. But who will strike that ideal balance of beauty and comfort the couple is looking for?
I really see two beautiful gardens out here.
We're going to create a lush Mediterranean oasis for you.
So let's jackhammer this and just haul it away.
This program brought to you by the Home Depot. You can do it, we can help.
Tammy have traded adventurous travel for adventures in parenting. Now they want to turn their yard into a space that's exotic enough for them, but safe enough for their little girl. Ted and Tammy, their toddler Zoe, and their pets are happy to call Los Angeles home, but their yard is a thorn-infested danger zone. First to make her pitch is Donna Stia. She envisions a new yard space that offers separate benefits for the parents and their little girl.
Ted and Tammy, I really see two beautiful gardens out here. One for adults, one for children, tied together, a place for families.
The deck will be replaced with a set of slate steps, topped with a new outdoor kitchen.
This is what I see as our hardscape material. I also see this being the countertop for the barbecue area, which will be right here, our outdoor kitchen. A nice stainless steel built-in barbecue.
Wow, great.
Under-counter refrigerator, and a sink.
Wow, we do a lot of cooking outside. This would be great.
From the outdoor kitchen, the Reeses would step down to a large green lawn and into the adult area's main feature, a tiled dining gazebo.
This concrete pad, gone.
Out of here.
Fabric curtains, mosquito net, beautiful table underneath.
The far right corner of the yard would offer a second spot for entertaining.
And then over here, we would have a decomposed granite seating area with some chairs and maybe a little love seat. I love this old cactus. This cactus had to have been planted when the house was built. And it's a piece of the history of this house. There are definitely ways to buffer it. I'm talking about putting a planting area out to here.
Donna also wants to keep the blackberry bush, but other thorny plantings bordering the yard would go.
So then I'd love to see all of these walls softened with hedge material, with cooler, lighter colors for the adult garden.
The bright splashes of color are reserved for a special child's garden in this corner.
So here we have a child's garden. I love this, sort of miniature calla lilies, salvia, which the hummingbirds and the butterflies love. And we've got some geraniums, some dahlias.
Plantings for the adult garden will add texture with more subtle colors.
Right here we have a spikier plant, which it's called fortnight lily. It's got pale yellowish to white flowers. This is a vine I'd like to plant on an arbor over the barbecue area called monkey comb. What I'd love to see this garden be is your new adventure.
Next up is designer Nick Tan. He wants the yard to evoke the feeling of a lush Italian landscape.
What I'd love to give you guys out here is a nice retreat from kind of the hustle bustle of everyday life.
The first thing Nick plans to do is to demolish the existing wood deck.
It's going to be replaced by a terracotta patio that's going to match the tiles out front.
A new stucco block wall would screen the driveway, offering a sense of privacy and keeping Zoe away from the cars.
And there's going to be a built-in sandbox here in this area for Zoe.
Oh, she's gonna love that.
Two broad steps lead down to a lower patio that would be made of stained and scored concrete, outlined with more saltillo tiles.
We're going to add a new redwood trellis pergola with vines covering it, and so it'll provide you that sort of shade that you were asking for.
Nick also has plans for the slab.
So let's jackhammer this and just haul it away. We're gonna get a lush new lawn for you guys to kind of just sit out here and relax. Zoe can run around and play, the dogs can come out and be happy. I'd like to try to keep your bougainvilleas if we can, because they're so beautiful, but they're kind of a definite safety hazard. So let's create some plant barriers between them and you guys, and then you can kind of appreciate the beauty from afar.
Great.
So here on the garage, it's just a big, huge expanse of concrete for you guys. I want to soften that up. I'd like to plant papyrus there. It's a really beautiful, airy plant. This monstrous cactus here has got to go. It's way too dangerous. Let's replace it with something softer. I was thinking some mid-height bamboos, 15 feet, something like that can give you some nice sense of enclosure, some screening of your neighbor's property. This is Agave attenuata, which I thought we'd plug in because it's beautiful and in deference to the history of the garden, since this cactus and all the other pricklies are going. This guy here is kangaroo paw, which has this really neat, funky flower on it. Super soft and fuzzy. This here is Mexican weeping bamboo. Has a really nice, delicate texture.
Is it possible to transplant those roses maybe to the front yard since they're doing so well?
I absolutely think we should, because we're getting rid of so much stuff. I'd like to retain some of this stuff, too.
Hey, Nick, thank you so much for coming. This has been great.
Stephanie Bartron and Jill Jones arrive on a windy afternoon with their plan. It's all about comfort and shade.
We're going to create a lush Mediterranean oasis for you.
We're going to start by getting you down into the garden right away, so the deck is, of course, going. There's going to be stairs right here. They'll be faced with beautiful flagstone.
The team would use the same flagstones to pave a patio area off the steps.
An arbor is going to go up above us and run the length of the house. It'll have vines hanging down. It'll provide more shade for the house.
Where would you see putting a barbecue?
I think the barbecue would be perfect, actually, right between the steps leading down from your French doors. It's on the hard surface. It's close to your kitchen, so you actually come out here and cook and enjoy your outdoor living space.
Just beyond the flagstone patio, 4 tall elm trees would shade a gravel patio and grassy area. Stephanie and Jill picture a low wall wrapping around most of the yard.
It's about 18 inches tall. We'll do colored stucco or concrete on the surface. It will be topped with a flagstone, the same flagstone as in the patio to really tie everything together. It's about the right height for a bench. The other thing is, hopefully it'll keep the dogs out of the plants.
Very smart.
The now barren garage wall would feature a new layered planter bed.
We'll do flowering vines and then layers of flowering shrubs, so there's color and movement.
Next to the planter, a custom fountain would become a focal point for the dining area and the rest of the yard.
So in this area, we'd like to clean it out and make this the future playground space. We'll take out the back wall. Obviously, the green plastic fence is going to go. That's going to be solid panels with chalkboard paint.
Oh, cool.
And then in front of that, we'll have a short fence that will just separate the area, keep the dogs out of it. And this will be a space that can change as Zoe gets older.
We brought some samples of the plants we were going to use. This is a bamboo molly, a grass. It's very fine and feathery, and it gives some great movement.
For color, Stephanie and Jill plan to use pink penstemon, red abutilon, and a tropical favorite.
Red banana, there'd be 3 of these in the corner as a focal point.
We think it could be a beautiful, shady oasis, a place for you guys to retreat to, where you won't even realize the city surrounds you.
Sounds fabulous.
At last, it's decision time, and Ted and Tammy are stumped.
If you like plan number 1, go ah. If you like plan number 2, go bah.
The final choice and a Demolition Day surprise.
Thought we'd help out a little bit.
But we wound up getting really involved. Hi, I'm Bob Beeler. Hi, Bob.
Hi.
Bob.
Reese family loves Los Angeles, but their home in the City of Angels isn't quite paradise because of a somewhat treacherous backyard. From the smoldering concrete to the walls of thorns to the massive needle-packed cactus, Ted and Tammy Reese are better off keeping their toddler Zoe indoors.
All right.
Zoe, what do you think? What's it gonna be?
After some family discussions, Ted and Tammy are ready to choose a designer so they can start enjoying their backyard. Will it be Donna's outdoor kitchen and dining gazebo? Or Nick's spacious patio and garden? Or Stephanie and Jill's giant elm trees and Mediterranean fountain?
Boy, it has been a tough week trying to decide. We've had family and friends helping us with the choice because we really liked all the designs, but ultimately we decided to go with Nick Tam.
Nick's design gave us a lot of space for entertaining right off the house so we could have a lot of family and friends over comfortably.
It also had a lot of open space for Zoe to run and thrash around in.
I think once this project's done, Ted and Tammy can look forward to having a new, tropical, family-friendly, lush oasis of a backyard.
The first order of business? Start demolishing that concrete slab. Turns out, it's harder than anyone thought. Even Ted and Tammy wind up grabbing the sledgehammers. It'll take hours before the crew figures out what's wrong. More on that in a moment. First, The Reeses let the experts take charge so they can do some shopping, and Nick knows the perfect place.
So this is my secret spot, and I'm only bringing you guys here. You can't divulge it to anybody else.
All right, it's
I
a
like it
deal.
already. Look at all these pots.
Wow, this looks great.
The nursery offers flowers of every kind, but today's mission is mainly about pots, and finding the perfect planters for the yard is no easy task.
Wow, look at this big yellow one here.
This thing is huge.
Yeah, it's a monster.
Way too big
Yeah.
for your yard.
Okay.
This is pretty.
Yeah.
That's something.
Not quite right, though, I think. A little
Different
too Asian,
style.
maybe, for what we're going for.
You're right.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah.
That is really something, huh?
Maybe a little too much something. A little
Too
ornate,
ornate, yeah.
you know? You need something a little cleaner, something more simple, I think.
Oh, look at this.
This is cool.
The color seems right. Sort of the
That's-
terracotta color.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
Great. Let's do it.
But the search isn't over yet.
Do you think Nick knows where he's going? Oh, look at this one. It has really nice texture.
Yeah,
Sort of
I like this one.
antiqued.
That's cool.
This is pretty too. Nice color.
It's a beautiful color. A little too small. We need something big,
Okay.
you know?
How about this one?
Oh, that's nice. I like
This
the
is perfect.
texture.
This is beautiful. Let's take this one.
All right. Good choice.
Let's do it. I like this kind of warm golden color, that small pot.
Yeah, that's nice. I like this one with sort of the speckly black and beige.
I think if you like that one, Tammy, I saw one that you guys are really gonna love.
Oh, great.
All right.
Right along here. This
I
is
love that
beautiful.
waffle finish.
And it's
That is
got
really neat.
the same kind of speckled,
Right.
dotted look that you had on the other
It's
one.
very golden and the color.
Let's take this one.
Okay,
Great.
Great.
On the way out, the trio makes a quick detour past the plants.
Oh, this is nice. I like this bamboo.
This is what's going into your yard. I'm glad you like it.
Cool, yeah. Good thing.
That's golden bamboo.
Nice.
And so that's going to be the hedge. Kind of block out that view that you have right now.
How tall is that gonna get?
12 feet probably, somewhere around there.
Sounds
Give you some nice
about right.
privacy.
Thanks for showing us this great
Oh, yeah.
nursery. Wow,
I love
you got
this
some
place.
Really
I'm
cool
glad you guys
pots.
dug it.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
definitely be coming back here.
The pots and plants are destined for the delivery truck. But what about the trouble back home with that concrete slab?
That was a huge challenge.
And it wasn't the only problem.
We were wondering, are we going to have this big old stump in our backyard?
Take a chance with color.
Make life designer with the perfect plan for their yard. But two unwelcome surprises triggered some trouble, just as the demolition got started.
And we thought it was a regular slab. It turned out to be really thick, 12 inches. My guys were at it for 2 days, jackhammering the thing.
The crew finally broke through, but then the cactus removal got a bit sticky.
We weren't sure how he was going to get it out without getting hurt, and also the root ball turned out, or the base of it turned out to be enormous, and they had to use a chainsaw to get it out. Now that our yard is complete, it's like a totally different house. Our yard is so beautiful.
Yeah, it's just, it's amazing. It's really everything that we'd hoped it would be.
The same yard transformed into a tropical getaway right in the midst of big city Los Angeles. Once filled with harsh angles and sharp thorns, the space is now an inviting garden with places to entertain grown-ups and little Zoe. 2 months after demolition started, Nick arrives for a final walkthrough.
Hey,
Hey,
Nick.
guys.
Hey,
Nick. How's it going?
How you doing?
Good. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, we're loving
God,
the
this
yard.
looks great.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
fantastic.
it's terrific.
That narrow deck off the house has been replaced with a large patio, paved with saltillo tiles and dotted with colorful pottery and plants.
The patio is a huge improvement. We
Yeah.
don't have to worry about falling off the deck
Yeah, that
anymore.
narrow,
it just
old, rotting
flows
wood
out.
deck.
Yeah.
It also matches the architecture of your house a little bit better. I think
Absolutely.
it
Yeah,
has a nice
saltillo,
warm feel
nice.
to it.
On one side, a new wooden gate blocks the driveway and offers privacy from the neighbors. The other side of the patio is an intimate seating area, anchored by a cozy chimenea fireplace.
So nice to relax here in our lounge outside our bedroom. It's like an extra room.
Moroccan-inspired tile steps lead to a lower patio, paved with stamped concrete.
I think that's a vast improvement on what you had here before. You remember?
Yes. Oh, yes.
How thick was that slab, Nick?
Probably 5 feet deep, it felt like.
Like
So
an
it's really
island.
breaking up your space.
Here you'll find the large pots Tammy and Ted picked out at the nursery. Overhead, a new arbor extends from the house, providing shade for the upper lounge and a dining area.
And then, of course, the pièce de résistance, the big old barbecue. It's been so nice to be able to cook and then just take food right to the table.
Right. No more back and forth between the kitchen. You can mingle with your guests a little bit more.
Exactly. Less running around.
The rest of the yard is filled with a variety of lush plantings.
So we got the great papyrus here, nice silhouette against this textured wall.
Agave, phormiums, kangaroo paw, and other plants now border the bougainvillea. A bamboo hedge and large bird of paradise will eventually provide more privacy.
Nick, where's the cactus?
Yeah, where is the cactus,
man-eater's
right?
gone.
The man-eater's gone. We got rid of it. I heard too many horror stories from you guys about children being maimed and...
Strategically placed lights will create interesting shadows and drama against the walls.
Which brings us to Zoe's play structure over here, which is lots of fun for her now.
Ted got his barbecue, so there had to be something sweet in the deal for Zoe, right?
Something for everybody.
Right.
Zoe also has plenty of soft green lawn to run around on. Initially, the thought of mowing all this grass made Ted a bit reluctant.
So I have to admit, I was skeptical, but now that it's in, Zoe and the dogs, even I love the grass.
So enjoy.
Fabulous. We will.
Thank you, we will.
Like
Absolutely.
the gift that keeps on giving.
That's right.
So now it's time to do some living in it.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Ted and Tammy are happy to take Nick's advice, in the company of their family, not to mention their furry friends. Thanks for joining us on Landscapers Challenge. We'll see you next time when we put 3 more landscape designers to the test.